Hey, good morning students. Now in today's video we are going to learn the next topic of the module number 2, that is inner product space. Inner product space. Inner product space. Now what is meant by inner product? Let us try to understand this. And to understand this, let us say V is the vector space. Let V is the vector space or a set of vectors K, and let's consider small u and small v are the two vectors which belongs to the vector space V, right? If V is the vector space over the set of vectors K, and there are two more vectors small u and small v which belongs to the vector space V, and if there is a scalar, generally there is denoted with this letter. So if there is a scalar called as inner product of uv, this inner product is always a scalar, and the inner product of two vector is denoted with the help of this sign, right? So this is a scalar. That's why I said that if there is a scalar inner product of uv which belongs to the set of vectors K, then this mapping, whatever I said now, this mapping is called as the inner product. The inner product space. So this is called as the inner product space of the vectors if it follows, if this mapping follows some axioms. There are three different axioms, so let me denote these axioms with letters I1, I2 and I3. These are some axioms. If these axioms are followed, then this inner product of UV is called as the inner product, right? And the first axiom is the inner product of UV is a conjugate of VU, and this conjugate is denoted with this sign, right? And if the second axiom, if you multiply by some scalar AU1 plus BU2, suppose these are the two vectors U1 and U2, and you are taking inner product of this with V, and if this is equals to A times inner product of U1 V plus B times inner product of U2 V, isn't it? And the third axiom is if the inner product of the vector with the vector itself is equals to 0, and if it is greater than or equals to 0. Sometimes it may happen the inner product of the same vector with itself is equals to 0, or it is positive. If it is equals to 0, this implies that this is possible only if the given vector is equals to 0. Then and only then you will get the inner product equals to 0. If this is a positive, then this implies the given vector is not equals to 0. So there are some basics of axioms for the inner product space, and this is the definition of the inner product space, right? So this is a quite theoretical. You may not have understood how to take the inner product of the two vectors, right? That you will come to know in some next part of the lecture. So let's try to go ahead and understand some more basic things about the inner product space. Let's go for the first one. First is the norm of the vector. Norm of vector. Now what is the norm of vector and how to take the norm of the vector? So if V is the vector space, then if V is the vector space which belongs to K, and small u and small v are the two vectors which belongs to the vector space V, then the norm of the vector is denoted by this sign. This is the norm of the vector, right? And this norm of the vector gives you the length, and this is given by square root of the inner product of u and v, isn't it? Let's go for some examples for the norm of the vector so that you can understand this well. So the first example is example number 1. First example, find the norm of vector. Find the norm of vector V which belongs to R square, and the vector which is given to you here is V is equals to 2, 4, right? And therefore I can say by the definition of norm of vector, this is the indication, or this is the way to denote the norm of the given vector, and this is equals to square root of square of the component of the vector. Now this is the square of the component of the vector. The component of the vector are 2 and 4, so 2 square plus 4 square, and this will give you 2 square is a 4, 4 square is a 16, so your norm of the vector is a 20, isn't it? Next example, find the inner product of the vector u equals to, the vector is given to you 1, -2 and 5 which belongs to R cube, right? And the norm of this vector u is equal to square of this component, that means 1 square plus -2 square plus 5 square, and this will give us 1 plus 4 plus 25 which is equals to root 30. So this is how you can calculate the norm of the vector, which is very simple, but this is very important for understanding the Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization process. So let's take one more example. Suppose there is a vector VC, and the limit of this vector is given as 0, 1, and the vector is given in the form of a function. So the function f of x is equals to x. Now how to calculate the norm of this vector in this case, right? So let us say f of x is the vector and this is the range of the vector. Then the norm of the vector f is equals to square root of the inner product of the vector in this way. So you are taking the inner product of the vector with vector itself, and this can be done in the square root by taking the integral with its limits from 0 to 1 into f of x dx. Now if you solve within the square root, this will give you the integral of 0 to 1 x into dx, and this will give you your answer in the square root is equals to, so integral of x is equal to x square by 2, right? So x square by 2, and its limits are 0 to 1. If you put its limit, the norm of this vector will give you the norm of the vector f is equal to square root of half, or this can be written as 1 by root 2, right? So this is what the way to calculate the norm of the given vector, right? Now let us try to understand how to normalize the vector. The norm of the vector has a very important role in Gram-Schmidt orthogonalization and for the normalization of the vectors, right? So to normalize, how to normalize the vector? To normalize the vector, we have to take the vector divided by its norm, that gives you the normalized vector, right? The very simple way. I'll give you some examples to you so that you can understand it well. So let's understand normalization of vector by example only. So normalize each of the following vector in R3, right? This is the next example. With this example only you will understand how to normalize the vector. Normalize the vector. Normalize the vectors in R3. R3 means there are real numbers in having three components, right? So the first is u equals to 2, 3 minus 1, 2, 3 minus 1, and the second one is half 1 by 4 and minus half. V is equals to half 1 by 4 and minus half. So these are the two vectors which you have to normalize, right? So let's go for the first. So to normalize the vector, how to normalize the vector? So I would say normalized vector is equals to the given vector u divided by the norm of the vector, right? This is the way to normalize the vector. So the given vector is, you can write as it is, divided by its norm, or first you can calculate the norm. So your vector is a 2, 3 minus 1 divided by its norm is equal to square root of the square of the components. So 2 square is a 4, 3 square is a 9, minus 1 square is a 1 only. So this will give you 2, 3 minus 1 divided by square root of 9 plus 1 is 10, 10 plus 4 is 14. So this gives you square root of 14. And thus your normalized vector is equals to 2 by root 14. Second is a 3 by root 14. And third one is minus 1 by root 14. Got it? So this is the normalized vector. Now do the same case for the second example. So for second example, your normalized vector is equals to the vector v divided by the norm of the vector. So what is your vector? Your vector is half 1 by 4 and minus half, right? Divided by its norm is equals to 1 by half square is 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 square is 1 by 16 and minus half square is 1 by 4, right? Now you can equate the denominator inside the square root and then you will get the norm, and this will be equals to, this is half, this is 1 by 4 and minus half and square root. So here you need a 4 to equate the denominators inside the square root. So this will be a 4, this will be a 1, 5 plus this 4. So 4 plus 4 plus 1 is 9, 9 by 16, right? So 9 by 16 is inside the square root. Now you can multiply to the above vector, which will give you 1 half into 14 by 9, right? So let me write it in a simple way. So 1 half into square root of 14 by 9. No? So either you can keep this 14 by 9 as it is, or you can do one thing. I think I can simplify this. The square of 9 is a 3 and 14. No, 14 is, 16 is there, no? At the denominator we have a 16, not 14. So 3 by 4 right? So this is a 3 by 4 and this is your vector half, 1 by 4 and minus half, right? Now you can multiply by that denominator, that will be 4 by 3, and the second component of the vector is 1 by 4 into 4 by 3, and the third component of the vector is minus half into 4 by 3, and if you simplify this you will get first component as 2 by 3, the third component is 1/3, and the fourth component is minus 2/3, right? So this is the normalized vector. Got it? So in this way you can calculate the norm of the vector and the normalized vector, right? So now one more example as a homework for you to calculate the norm of the vector. Homework for you. So homework example. Let V be the vector space of the polynomial with inner product. Let V be the vector space which belongs to K of polynomial with inner product given by inner product of f and g is given to you, and this is equals to integral from limit 0 to 1 f of t and g of t into dt. So these are the two vectors f of t and g of t, which are happen to be a polynomial, and the values of the polynomial is given to you. So f of t is equals to and g of t both are given to you. F of t is equals to t plus 2 and g of t is equals to t square minus 2t minus 3, right? So these are the two polynomials, and you are asked to calculate the inner product of the two vectors. Now to calculate the inner product of the two vectors, I will just give you the brief hint for this problem. You have to take the inner product of these two, and to take the inner product of these two you need the norm of both the vector, norm of the first vector and norm of the second vector. I have to calculate the norm of both the vectors. We know this. While taking the inner product of these two, these are the two polynomials, you just multiply, take the multiplication of both two inside the in the integral, and then solve the integral with the given limits. That will give you the answer of the inner product. So hope you have understood what is meant by inner product and how to calculate the norm of the vector and the normalization of the given vector, right? There is one more concept I will just finish out, that is orthogonality of vectors, isn't it? So let us consider V is the vector space and small u and small v are the two vectors, and these two vectors are said to be orthogonal. So V is the vector space which belongs to K, small u and small v are the two vectors which belongs to vector space V, right? Then the vector V is said to be u and v, these are the two vectors, are said to be orthogonal if and only if the inner product of these two vector is equals to 0, right? If the inner product of any two vector is equals to 0, then these two vectors are orthogonal vectors, isn't it? So this is the condition for orthogonality. There is one more term, it is called as orthonormal. And what is orthonormality? I will give you the again condition. So this is the first case for orthogonality. If the inner product of the two vectors is not equals to 0 and it is equals to 1, then it is called as orthonormal vector, right? Orthonormal vector. This is the condition for orthogonal vector, right? So this is the simple case. So I will write it again. If there are two vectors ui and uj, right? If this inner product is equals to 0 and if this inner product is equals to 1, if it is equals to 0, then it is orthogonal vectors, and but the one more condition is that I and j must not be equal. If I and j are equal, that means both vectors are same, then that will be a 0 vector. So both vectors must not be a same, then this is a orthogonal vector. Orthogonal, right? And here, though both are same, still there is no problem, then it is a orthonormal vector. Orthonormal vector, right? So hope you have understood these 3-4 different points. I will again reiterate those points. What we have studied is what is meant by inner product space. Second is how to calculate the norm and what is the norm. Third one is how to normalize the vector. And the fourth, two conditions for orthogonal and orthonormal vectors, right? I will request you read out some more materials about these terms and solve various problems based on this. I am just giving you the various topics and its brief views of those topics, and we are solving some problems based on that, right? You are expected to do much more about the respective topics. So hope you have understood this, and we'll stop here. Thank you.